Zohran Mamdani wants to tax the rich, defund the police, and arrest Benjamin Netanyahu if he ever visits New York City. And to combat this, billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman is ready to invest hundreds of millions of dollars. Why? Because taxing the rich usually backfires. Think of it this way. You run a billion-dollar company that has 1,000 employees. You're good to them, offer fair pay, insurance, and other benefits. If your company does well, you get to treat yourself to whatever is left over after paying everybody. But you constantly have to innovate to avoid being ruined by the competition, bear the risk of business, pay taxes and bills on time, and go broke, or worse, end up in debt if your business fails. And after all this, you go out of your home and see people say, tax and eat the rich. When you come back home, you see Mamdani guaranteeing people a $30 minimum wage by 2030. Right now, it's $16.5 in New York City. An extra $13.5 don't seem like much, but that's an 81% increase in just 5 years. You think to yourself, in the next 5 years, I have to face an 81% increase in my costs. But how can I afford it until I don't raise the prices of my services at least by that much? Doing this ultimately results in higher inflation, which ironically is what Mamdani wants to eliminate. Trying to do good for the masses is okay, but is it acceptable when it costs billions? Yes, Mamdani also wants to permanently eliminate bus fares, which will cost the city $650 million per year, which is, surprise surprise, taxpayer money. He wants city-owned grocery stores in each of the 5 boroughs. If the city owns the grocery stores, guess what? They can outcompete all the other grocery stores by lowering their prices until there is absolutely no competition left. If you were a grocery store owner, you'd have to pack your bags and move back to wherever you came from, because why would anyone buy from you if they can just get it cheaper elsewhere? This is ultimately what happens to businesses when the government tries to force them into paying more and selling for less. But then you pick up the newspaper and see Mamdani screaming, more taxes on those who earn $1 million or more, which is roughly the top 1% of the city. You think to yourself, well, I just moved someplace else. This is exactly what Bill Ackman has threatened to do. He said, if 100 or so of the highest taxpayers in my industry choose to spend 183 days elsewhere, it could reduce New York state and city tax revenues by $5 to $10 billion or more. And that's just my industry. So taxing the rich more than you should results in what's called a millionaire migration. And this is exactly what happened in France in 2006. They levied a solidarity wealth tax on anyone having assets over 1.3 million euros, and about 843 millionaires left, resulting in a net loss of 2.8 billion euros. But this is also happening in China, UK, India, South Korea, and Russia. A head researcher says, I think sometimes people don't realize how important millionaires are. It's not so much about the taxes they pay, it's more about all the jobs they create. TLDR. Taxing millionaires more than you should results in less capital, less jobs, fewer availability of wealth management, luxury hotels and restaurants, lower results to those who invest in these sectors, and thus lower taxes. So Mamdani, if you're listening, tax the rich, but carefully, and don't forget to keep it simple, stupid.